all, thanks are due to CNBC for inviting me here, and very grateful to Nilesh for setting the tone for this discussion in a way that helps us become mature investors and not day traders. I don't know how much of that will be appreciated by the folks at CNBC, but yes, the serious way to make money is to be focused on good stuff, buy it for the long term, and sit on it for a long enough time for it to compound. So the difficult part is in figuring out what's good and what's bad. The difficult part is also about taking the plunge to get into equity markets. So I would want this interaction with you people to be as interactive as possible. I do not have a presentation that I will be making, nor do I have pearls of wisdom to share with you, which will help you invest well on Monday and become rich for the rest of your life. No, that's not the idea. But there are some broader messages that I think I will take from what Nilesh said and from what I wish to share. I would look at today's gathering as primarily a community of retail investors who are clued into the daily vibrations and gyrations of the market, who are curious about the markets and who feel that, yes, this is indeed one way or one avenue to allocate some of their savings and get their savings to compound over the longer term. So, and this curiosity, this gumption has been lacking in Indian investors for a while. The reasons for that are many, but I think many of those structural reasons why equities gave us subpar returns in the recent past. I would refer specifically to the last 4 or 5 years before this government came in. Many of those reasons are now changing. In fact, many of the reasons why India as an economy wasn't doing what it could have done and was performing below potential are also many of those levers are being put into place. So if there is one single big message that I have for attendees today, it is this, that we are indeed on the verge of what Nilesh described mathematically as a golden decade. And this is something we at HDFC Securities have been saying for a while since the new government took over. And to be fair, they will go through their ups and downs, which they are. But to my mind, the single biggest message that I can share with you people today is that the next 10 years promise to do what the last, not just 10, but maybe 20, 30 or 50 years could not do for the economy and hence for the stock market and hence for your savings. So what are these, what's the big difference in these next 10 years and what has preceded these years in the past, not just 5, but maybe 20, 30, 50 years. So the structural problems with India can all be boiled down to two big things. And we've been saying this for a while. One, India's policy mix and India's policy mix has been consistently, since independence, leaning towards the left. It's been driven by what I would say is a government-led set of economic policies where the government had overriding control over large swathes of business and economic activity. We sense that with the change in government last year, this might structurally change for all time to come, and this would probably be irrespective even of which party or government might be in power maybe 5, 10 or 20 years from now. So that's a very big opportunity for entrepreneurs, some of whom have done very well under the past left-leaning regimes, but now with a decidedly right-of-center government. I think the opportunity for Indian businessmen and entrepreneurs to flourish is much, much better than what it used to be.
I have some good news for you and some bad news for you. First bad news, yes, I heard that. So the bad news first. And of course, it depends with, whether the good news or bad news depends on what is your relationship with this market. Whether you're a trader, a short-term investor, or a long-term investor. I'm told the people of Borivali and Kandivali are largely traders. So I don't know, only you can confirm that. But there's a lot of good news if, you've already heard Nilesh Bhai. And if you, believe in being long-term investors, then I think there's a lot of good news. But if you're an index observer, if you're a trader, then maybe like the person there said, the bad news first, that if you're somebody who looks at the stock market and defines a market being good or bad based on the Sensex value or the Nifty value that he sees on screen, then I don't think you're going to be blessed with a major rally anytime soon. Maybe at the end of this year, or even if we say look at March or April of 2016, I don't think there are substantial returns per se to be made if you just look at the index per se. So if you're going to be trading, there's going to be a lot of risk in the next few months, which will catch you unaware. There's going to be a lot of volatility, and there'll hardly be any good news around. Even now, I think barring maybe 10 or 12 trading sessions ago, when our governor surprised us with a 50 basis point repo cut, and the last, again, 5 or 10 trading sessions where the global markets have been supportive, except that, and therefore the Nifty, kind of rallied till yesterday. I think except that, largely, if you take, if you look at 10 sessions back, there was hardly any good news. And there are a lot of reasons for that, which I'll get into in detail, when we go slide by slide. But, so basically that's the bad news. The good news is that at this point there is no good news. In the stock market, when there is huge panic, when there is bad news everywhere, and there does not seem to be any good news at all, is actually the best time to buy stocks or accumulate stocks.
Let's say कि आपको घर में 1 किलो घी चाहिए, ओके? अभी आप घी अगर खरीदना चाहते हो तो क्या करोगे? बाहर जाके कोई आसपास में दुकान होगी, वहां से घी खरीद के ले आओगे। नाउ अब आप कर नहीं सकते हो, क्योंकि वो दुकान क्या करती है? वो दुकान घी में ट्रेडिंग करती है। तो इफ ट्रेडर्स आर बैड, तो वो दुकान आपको कल मिलने वाली नहीं है। तो अगली बार आपको 1 किलो घी चाहिए, तो आपको पंजाब जाके और जो गाय रखता है उससे घी खरीद के लाना होगा। उसको पहले तो लोकेट करना होगा और जाके तो 7 दिन लगेंगे। So that is a function of trading. It provides liquidity, accessibility, and जो फाइनेंस के लोगों को एकदम पसंद नहीं है, ट्रेडिंग प्रोवाइड्स ट्रांसपेरेंसी। एक ब्रोकर है, और जो लोग पहले, आप तो सब यंग लग रहे हो, अगर कोई बंबई के स्टॉक एक्सचेंज में ट्रेडिंग पहले करते थे एनएससी के पहले, तो वहां ब्रोकर से मिलना भगवान से मिलने से ज्यादा मुश्किल होता था। इफ यू रिमेंबर, वो सब बदल गया। मुझे लगता है कि हमारे दोस्तों को वही याद आ रहा है कि वो जमाना क्यों चला गया। नाउ इफ यू गो एंड बाय अ शेयर, यू वर गिवन अ कोट देन 900 रुपया और 1000 रुपया। अगर आप खरीदना चाहते हो तो 900 में खरीदो, और 1 मिनट बाद बेचना चाहते हो तो 900 में बेचो और 1000 में खरीदो। अब कोट्स होते हैं 900 और 901 रुपया। ये कोट्स आए हैं ट्रेडिंग के कारण। सारी दुनिया में वर्ल्ड ओवर ट्रेडर्स आर इनकरेज्ड बिकॉज दे प्रोवाइड, एज आई टोल्ड यू, लिक्विडिटी, एक्सेसिबिलिटी एंड ट्रांसपेरेंसी. Trading brings transparency. It's not a horrible thing. It's a integral part of the business. अगर ट्रेडर्स 1 लाख शेयर या 10 लाख शेयर रिलायंस के नहीं खरीदने को तैयार हो, तो कोई फंड बेचने जाएगा, उसको 10 दिन लगेंगे लाख शेयर बेचने में। ये तो ट्रेडर्स होते हैं जो 1.5 मिनट में इसको ले लेते हैं। तो आई एम नॉट श्योर व्हाई दिस आइदर और प्रेजेंटेशंस आर बीइंग मेड। या तो आप ट्रेडर हो तो आप विलेन हो बॉलीवुड के। आई स्टार्टेड फीलिंग लाइक अ बॉलीवुड विलेन आफ्टर सर। इट्स नॉट लाइक दैट. And if you are an investor, you are of course a very, very fine guy. It's not like that. It's not either or. They are two very different activities. They are not contradictory. वो आपस में contradiction नहीं करते हैं। तो ये मुझे ये थोड़ा fair नहीं लगता है जब है ना traders को नीचे दिखा के investors को ऊंचा दिखाया जाता है, क्योंकि दोनों businesses अलग अलग है, वो काम ही अलग अलग है। तो इसको you can't compare them. आप इस बात को समझिए, डोंट फील गिल्टी इफ यू आर ट्रेडर्स, यू आर प्रोवाइडिंग अ वेरी वैल्यूएबल इकोनॉमिक सर्विस। अगर आप कोई भी एलिमेंट्री किताब लोगे इकोनॉमिक्स की, उसमें ट्रेडिंग के क्या बेनिफिट्स होते हैं वो आपको समझ में आ जाएंगे। एंड दैट्स व्हाट वी आर डूइंग फॉर ऑल ऑफ अस हु आर ट्रेडर्स। इफ यू आर हियर इन दिस सबर्बन एरिया, अगर आप सब लोग ट्रेडिंग करते हैं, तो आपके बिना ना इन फंड मैनेजर का काम चलेगा नहीं। मैं सच बताता हूँ, ये फंड्स बंद हो जाएंगे ट्रेडर्स के बिना। ये किसको बेचेंगे और किससे खरीदेंगे और कहाँ ये SIP करवाएंगे, क्योंकि वो जो चैनल्स होते हैं वो भी तो ट्रेडर्स ही होते हैं, जो ब्रोकर्स होते हैं, सब ब्रोकर्स होते हैं, म्यूचुअल फंड के एजेंट्स होते हैं, दे आर ऑल ट्रेडर्स इन सम फॉर्म और दी अदर. So don't feel comfortable about what you are doing. You are providing the most valuable service you can give. You have provided, as traders, we have provided access to the stock market to millions and millions of Indians. ये 80 लाख लोग जो SIP कर रहे हैं, ये हमारे कारण कर रहे हैं, क्योंकि इनको मार्केट में कॉन्फिडेंस आया है कि हम मार्केट से चीट नहीं किए जाएंगे. आपको याद है क्या, बम्बई स्टॉक एक्सचेंज होता था तो मार्केट में क्या होता था? नो नीड टू रिपीट इट. वो सब बंद हो गया, मुझे लगता है शायद उसी का दुख हो रहा है.